Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be the finished Vader helmet, finally. I know some of you guys have been asking when you're going to get completed. I've been so busy. Finally got it done, so stay tuned, coming up now. And so here I have Vader's faceplate. It's already been prepped and sanded, ready to go. So I'm gonna be coating it with Krylon Color Max primer. It's a gray primer to get it started off. I want to try to keep everything smooth. Just get the nice even coat throughout the whole entire mask surface. Okay, here's the helmet part, and you can tell the spot glazing putty that I've used to build up some areas that were needing to be built up. It took a lot of, I don't have it here on the video, but it took a lot of sanding and applying that, and sanding and applying that. I even used some wood filler here and there, and just took some time to make sure get it, as even as possible as far as the two parts, wherever the parts join. I want to, try to make it sure it's a smooth transition. So here we're just going to do the same thing like we did to the face mask, put an even coat throughout the whole entire helmet. Make sure we cover every part. As you can see, sorry for the fast camera movement, as you can see towards the right side right here at the ridge, it's kind of a bump. I have to fill that in later on, and I do that off screen. Use some more of the glazed spot putty stuff from Bondo. Okay, here we're going to put on a gloss. I tried doing this here first to see how it came out, and I didn't like the way it came out. I put the gloss down just for the faceplate to see how it would turn out. It didn't work as well as I thought, so what I ended up doing later on was just applying some other coats. I'm using Rust-Oleum Glossy Black here just to kind of go through the whole helmet or the faceplate to see how it's going to turn out. And here later on in the video you'll see that I wasn't happy with the results, so I tried a different type of paint. Later part of this video you'll be able to see I used the same spray paint that I did for the helmet for the faceplate. I'm not too concerned with getting on the inside of the faceplate because it's just going to be a display piece. I'm not going to have it where you can actually go and put it on. Very important. I didn't show this earlier, but you want to use a mask so that way you're not sanding and breathing this stuff. Even when you're spray painting, you want to make sure that you use stuff to protect yourself. Here is where I added the glazing spot putty stuff from Bondo. I added back to the helmet to build up some of the places that needed to be built up. Sand, an eternity of sanding and reapplying, sanding and reapplying of this stuff. It's a process that took forever. This is back, I think, around in June of this year, 2019, and this video right now is coming out a week before Christmas, so I just finished it last week. That's how busy I've been with other things. So here, just kind of sanding, get things smooth. I'm using different sandpaper and sanding blocks, just different things to see, you know, which one works the best. Just sand. You gotta be patient with this stuff. You can't hurry it up by no means. And I noticed too, I don't know if it's the PLA or the primer or both, but I started having like this situation where there would be cracks appearing in there, and I'm using the correct paint. I mean, for plastic and this sort of thing that I've used in the past. Okay, here we go. I've this right here, I'm getting closer. I've applied a black primer to the helmet, and I'm getting closer as far as smoothing the helmet down with adding the glazed putty. And the process is getting a lot closer to where it needs to be. Sand away. That's what takes so long, because you have to sand and then reapply this stuff and let it dry for a few hours. Sand again, and the process just takes forever. It's getting smoother though. Some of the parts I had to build up some of the ridges for it to come out right here at the front. You can see the extra spot putty there. I had to add some to build up the bridge, because fixing the sides where it didn't look quite right almost made it flush, so I had to raise that a little bit, which I did off camera. Now I'm just sanding it down, trying to get it close to where it needs to be. You just gotta feel around, make sure everything's smooth. Back to the primer. The same primer I applied prior to this other video. The primer is flat black, and I'm just gonna reapply this over the whole entire area that I just did, that I just sanded. Smooth, even coats. Over through the top here. Rattle cans. I think my next project I'm going to use an airbrush to see how that works. I haven't tried that yet. I've just used basically rattle cans or acrylic paint for most of the models thus far. This particular day was very warm, so things were driving very quick. Probably another coat of primer on it. You see some divots and stuff inside the helmet there. I think next time I'm just going to do the settings a little different and simplify 3D, make the model a little easier to print, maybe cut it at a different angle, because that helmet top, if you remember, the bowl part was in two pieces. That's the reason why I had to build up the one side. I think if I recut it a little differently, it may have made things a lot easier if I would have separated the parts a little differently. But that's an afterthought. Just applying a thick coat. Alright, here we go. This is more primer. Now see, this is the paint from earlier, the Rust-Oleum paint, and I'm just throwing this primer back over top of it. And what I'm doing is just adding more. I'm not sanding anything off. I'm just adding more. I'm just adding the primer to the Vader faceplate, getting it ready for the final coats of black glossy paint. Alright, I already put the first coat on. Sorry, I missed that. My camera wasn't working for the first round. For some odd reason, the battery decided to die on me. I thought it was charged, and it wasn't. So I apologize. So this is the second coat of Krylon Color Max Black Gloss. Make sure I get everything. Shake, rattle, and roll. That's all it is with those cans. I'm going to try airbrush next time. I think it'll be a little easier. I think an airbrush would actually be beneficial to use in this situation, because you can kind of control how much paint is being applied to the object that you're painting. So next video I'll be using the airbrush to paint my models. I'm still undecided whether I'm going to, because the faceplate actually has a back part too that you can print and make a little more sturdier, put it together. I'm still debating whether to do it or just leave the faceplate in the helmet. But I think at this point I'm just going to leave it as is. I may look at it again after the first of the year. Now to hit the faceplate one last time here. Alright, there you go. That's the last part of it. One last thing I didn't get this on video, was I added 2 clear coats on each piece for protection. And here you have it, the finalized Vader helmet. I'm happy with it. I mean, it turned out pretty decent, considering as much stuff I had to build up and sand down and fix. It turned out decent. Good enough for a display piece. I do need to add the tusk, the gray paint to the tusk, and a gray thing to the nose part. Other than that, it's completed. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video and staying with me this long. Make sure you like and subscribe this video, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.